Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and a game between Evil Genius's Puma versus JYP here on Shattered Temple. We have Puma spawning as the blue Terran player here at the 3 o'clock position. Meanwhile, just a hop, skip, and a jump across the pond, we have JYP spawning as the red Protoss at the 12 o'clock position. Terran versus Protoss here on Shattered Temple, and we'll see what's going to go down in this matchup. We'll see who will be able to come out ahead. I did do a game between Elfie yesterday, and Elfie easily, I believe, took that matchup. Hopefully, I am not misremembering anything, and we'll see whether or not this Terran versus Protoss will favor Terran or Protoss now. Now, remember, this is part of patch 141. There are some significant changes to Protoss, as well as some significant nerfs to Terran. Terrans now, their barracks does take a little bit longer to build, plus an additional 5 seconds to build that barracks. So because of that additional 5-second build time, it does delay the rest of the tech build for Terran to either get into any other serious type of opening. Puma opening up with a 12 racks this time around, and it will be a little bit of time before an SCV, it will be quite a bit of time before Marine does pop out, as JYP now scouting out with a probe, and it looks like he's going to be doing a cross scout first. So he's going to be doing a cross scout first as opposed to the typical ally scout. And a very interesting scouting pattern. He wants to see if it is going to be a full cross spawn. If it's not a full cross spawn, we'll see where he's going to go from there. JYP looking like he will be going for Pylon and then Cybernetics Core, waiting to get that second Pylon into play. It does allow him to get a much stronger economic opening, but he will not be able to get that 4-gate off or that Warp Gate tech nearly as quickly, so that is also important to note. You can see a gateway, second pylon there. We should be getting up a Cybernetics Core in just a moment. There it is, as JYP may start chrono boosting out some of his probes. He is saving a fair amount of energy though, so he may perhaps be waiting for the Cybernetics Core to try to chrono boost that out. We do see a second assimilator now being added in, so JYP may be going for a lot of sentries, or he may be trying to go perhaps into some Stargate plate. A Marine now chasing after this probe. It doesn't look like Puma will really be able to chase it down at all. 18 food versus 20 food at this stage, as I believe the Cybernetics Core will be completed in just a moment. We can see that the factory is being built. We are going into the refinery already, and we also see that a Stalker is now being trained. So Stalker already being trained, as the Warp Gate tech has been started as well, and I believe, yes, a chrono boost on each of these. The Reaper harassment trying to perhaps deny it there, or perhaps trying to scout out where that SCV could possibly be. 2 Marines now making their way over. No Reaper possible, as Puma does not have a tech lab on that supply depot. Or excuse me, on that barracks. Wow, reading the wrong thing. Now, we'll see what the strategy is going to be here. It looks like Puma wants to open up with perhaps some Banshee harassment because of the relative close air spawns. Stalker now on the move as well, and this is going to be a very, very unfortunate incident for JYP, as JYP may not be able to get up an observer in time. He did opt to go for an earlier Nexus. He is going to be a little bit behind in getting that robotics facility, and if he gets a robotics facility now, he may have enough time to really get that observer. Otherwise, the Stargate, the starport, will be able to switch onto that tech lab and now get that Banshee training in a very, very short amount of time. You can see now the cloaking research has started, and we should be getting that Banshee up in just a moment. And you can see that this SCV is going to scout out this Nexus, and this is exactly what Puma wants to see. I believe a lot of damage will be had with this one Banshee. Still no robotics facility just quite yet. We are going into 2 additional gateways being built in the backside here. So this is a 3-gate expand. But how much damage is it going to truly do? Or how much damage can it really fight off, as we now finally see a robotics facility being added? Robotics facility does take a bit of time to build. In addition to that, it does take a bit of time in order to train up that observer. So I believe the Banshee will be able to get perhaps anywhere from 4 to 4 kills, maybe 5, if the Banshee is straight rallied into his opponent's base, and it looks like that is going to be the case. And now we're most likely going to see a chrono boost on that robotics facility, and it's going to really come down to micro, as there are a couple sentries down over here as well. There now moves the Banshee. The Banshee, however, flying in a little bit of the wrong direction. He needs to run straight in there to maximize his damage, as that Banshee now going to fly in. There are 2 sentries down here on the low ground, as the Banshee now going to get some damage there. Going to get take down 2 of those units already. Now waiting for the Cloak. Cloak not yet completed. Down to 22 hit points, and this is not good. There's the Cloak. It has been completed, and now very nicely done. Gonna get up to 5 kills, as I mentioned, well before the Observer is ready into play, and there it goes. Gets up to 6. So 6 kills, definitely worth it. Able to get 300 resources worth of damage for a 250 cost unit, but you also got to factor in the cost of that Cloak. So this Banshee really just evening up the playing field, but not really able to deal enough true damage. This Banshee now needs to fly away. The Stalkers may be able to catch up to it. They do move a little bit faster, and oh, down to 22 hit points and able to fly past. JYP now opting to warp in a Stalker over here to try to intercept this Banshee. The Banshee may be intercepted, as we are now have 1 Raven in the air in order to perhaps try to intercept that all-important Observer. Puma now deciding to back off with this Banshee. He doesn't want to fly down over here. It looks like a Stalker is on patrol, hoping to hunt down and shoot down that 1 unit as well. And in finally comes this Observer. So there's an Observer parked straight outside. There is 1 Raven in the air, and the Raven may be able to gain sight on it, and the Observer may get shot down. It looks like it will get shot down there, as the siege tanks are now on the move. The siege tanks, the Raven does have or will have enough energy for a point defense drone. No SCVs nearby, and without any SCVs, those siege tanks really have to be careful. Siege tech about to be completed. So this is the standard classic 1-1 build, as now SCVs being brought along as well. So a lot of SCVs going to perhaps try to absorb some of this damage as well as repair some of this damage, but I believe the Banshee was destroyed. So that early Banshee was destroyed, unfortunately for Puma. Puma having to do this push with a little bit less DPS, as the SCVs are now attempting to chase after this Stalker. Marines are here as well. It looks like the Stalkers may be able to get some damage. SCVs are, believe, are not on auto repair. 1 Stalker does get taken down. Siege tanks are going to siege up, and now he has to be very careful. Where's the point defense drone? There it is. Now trying to fight back. The Immortals need to get destroyed. Siege tanks going to get taken down, and Puma's attack is going to get stopped. No more siege tanks means no more superior range. A couple Zealots may get destroyed here. There is one Raven in the air to help give sight up onto the high ground. The Marines are still on the low ground, attempting to push back this army here, and that Immortal with a range of 6 now dealing a lot more damage. Point defense drone is in position. Siege tanks and perhaps going to start moving forward as well. This point defense drone pretty limited sight range, as we now have a drop on the back, or a push from the backside from this 1 Banshee. The Banshee is now low on energy. It will be able to cloak, but not for very long, as the units are now moving back over here from the center once again. You can see that there is an Observer here. Puma is going to pull back with that siege tank and now set up a bunker on the front door with this 1 base all in, essentially, but JYP unable to push this attack back. And now there are going to be a lot of Marines at the front door. Who will win out in this battle? Investor count, 27 Harvesters compared to 19. Not looking good at all. There is 1 Observer, however, to keep track of those Banshees. Zealots are now pushing into the front door. This is not looking good. The Marines really need to take down these Zealots. A lot of Marines now coming in. SCVs need to repair, and now, perhaps no, unable to repair in time at all. Stalkers are now going to be pushing in, but it looks like there are enough Marines, but it looks like the reinforcements will be stopped. And that is going to be a very important point. The reinforcements will be stopped, and perhaps JYP will be able to use this time to bust out of here. Unfortunately for him, though, he does have to deal with a full bunker and Marines. Those Marines are going to deplete the shields on those Immortals, and the Immortals may not even be able to get within range on that siege tank to do 1 or perhaps even 2 rounds of attack. The Marines are now looking and hunting for this 1 pylon. They know a pylon is on this side of the map somewhere. Needs to be able to intercept those reinforcements, as more units are still being added. The Marines finally catch this pylon, will be able to take it down. But at what cost, as units will be coming in to try to clean them up. Down goes the pylon as those units were canceled. The Marines are now pushing in, having to deal with Zealots. The Marines trying to run away, not going to be able to do so, as I believe we do have an observer over here. The Marines still running back up, and there is one siege tank up on that high ground as well. Zealots on the low ground. And JYP perhaps going to be able to attack from the low ground with low ground Zealots, while pushing from the high ground with the help of those Immortals. Also, the Sentry with Guardian Shields should be able to deplete a lot of the damage as well. The Banshee looking to rinse and repeat some of that damage, but it's going to fly straight into a group of Stalkers and simply get picked apart. JYP doing a good job holding back this attack. We can see currently a Stargate about to be finished. Perhaps Phoenixes or Void Rays may be added. Puma realizing that he cannot continue this engagement the way he is, as Zealots are now moving in. And oh, a lot of Zealots getting caught out of position here. JYP in a bit of trouble, as the Marines are going to be able to do a little bit of a pincer attack. There are Stalkers and Zealots down over here. Are the Marines going to be able to get there in time? There is no cloak, as Puma just winning this battle with a lot of Marines and tanks. Siege tanks will be able to get off a couple easy blasts onto those units. Stalkers may engage. The Raven needs to drop 1, if not 2 point defense drones in order to fight back here. Full energy on a Raven, always very scary. Puma going to drop those point defense drones. There's 1, there's 2. Siege tanks are going to be able to get perhaps 1 to 2 volleys. But now, as the point defense drones are stationary, they're not going to be able to move forward, and that's going to hurt. Puma with 2 point defense drones, perhaps overreacting just a little bit. 1 additional point defense drone would have been huge in this upcoming battle, as the Marines are now trying to push in. You can see the Marines and the tanks are doing that slow push forward. No medevacs whatsoever. The 2 siege tanks are off to the side. And now in comes this engagement as the battle is going on. I'm doing very well, Yolante. You can see a Phoenix is graviton beaming a siege tank. Marines are still continuing this push. The Guardian Shield not enough, as the Marines are going to slowly walk into this group of Stalkers and Immortals, and now going to be able to just push back against all these Stalkers. And there's the GG. So JYP losing the Evil Geniuses Puma here on Shattered Temple. A very well-executed strategy by Puma, not even using stim in order to just use very effective micro, very strong tank placement, and 1 Raven in order to place down a total of 3 point defense drones to get JYP to surrender. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 1 in this series.